This is the MeteoMark weather show, weather told through the eyes of MeteoMark here at MeteoMark Studios. Let's take a look at what we have going on here. I have one photo to show you. This is a photo I took out in Delaware County in upstate New York. Take a look at some of the fall foliage here really taking effect. And this is pretty much the rule here across much of New England, and for that matter, and the mountainous regions such as the Catskills, which this picture is from, as well as the Poconos, and heading on up into the Adirondacks. So here's what we have going on here across the tropics. The tropics are the big story. We basically have Karen here. Take a look at the satellite picture, really filling in at the moment. Very large circulation. Let's take a look at that track, taking it just across the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula and then steering it off towards the north central Gulf Coast of the United States, where we'll actually see a good deal of development out of this system before wind shear and dry air starts to overtake it. So let's take a look. That system is going to move up in the vicinity of the center of the weekend towards Pensacola, between Panama City, Pensacola, and over towards New Orleans. I think Pensacola may be ground zero for this storm, as models are really honing in on a solution with this storm as it nears the north central Gulf of Mexico. Now, models are split on intensity. Some models bring it as high as 100 knots, 110 knots, while other models actually tone it down towards 40 or 50 knots. So there's a wide spread of intensity. We're going to continue to watch that here as we continue to see the development of this system. Of course, once it's initialized as a point, a tropical system, whether it be tropical depression, tropical storm, then we'll actually see the models really shift into high gear with that. But what we're looking at here is basically, I think, what is Karen at this point, because this system is becoming very, very well organized and will continue to move towards the north and then eventually the north-northeast. Now let's take a look at the actual going on into time here. The cone of uncertainty stretched out across the eastern portion of the United States. You can see what I'm concerned about is this storm slowing down in the Appalachian Mountains and heading on up towards New York and Pennsylvania here and portions of New England. Later on towards the middle portion of next week, as we get that very stagnant blocking pattern that develops, and this system could ride up the Appalachians. You see, I'm not showing, and now across the forecast area of the northeastern portion of the United States, a lot of you are seeing rain in your forecast for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That rain is actually not associated with what could be Karen and is Karen. That is more associated with a frontal boundary that will be dropping out of the Great Lakes, and I'll show you that. That's actually going to be moving a little bit faster than Karen, and that could have implications on where Karen goes. So putting all that together and that in mind, let's take a look at the scenario and the factors affecting what could be steering Karen here. Of course, as it moves across the north central Gulf of Mexico, we have that high pressure building in more towards the east here and southeast, rather than building west, which would have initially steered the system more west. Now, across the upper Midwest here and portions of the Northeast, we'll have a trough developing by probably the beginning of the weekend and heading on into early next week. Now, what we're going to be seeing across much of the eastern portion of the nation, this low here on the upper plains and upper Great Lakes will be associated with the blizzard-like conditions here across the north central plains. That could actually, being that that system is so strong, it will accelerate too fast to pick Karen up into the westerlies, and Karen will be left to its own devices to actually just meander for days across the Appalachians until another frontal boundary could pick this system up. If that were to happen, we'd have catastrophic flooding across much of the eastern portion of the United States. However, like I said, it is too early to tell whether this scenario will play out. The scenario of the north central plains, however, getting 1 to 2 feet of snow across the Dakotas, portions of eastern Wyoming, eastern Montana, and possibly as far south as northeast Colorado and northern Nebraska, could be very real as this system bombs down to a 995 millibar low as it pushes across the Great Lakes. But once again, this system might not be enough to pick this system, what could be Karen, up the Appalachians and into the Northeast. So this is a ever-changing scenario. I encourage you to stay tuned for later updates. I'm going to leave you with the precipitation map that we're looking at the next basically 6 days here, 5 to 6 days. And this pretty much covers, of course, the Pacific Northwest. We'll see another small system this weekend, bringing about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. But the big story here will be along the Gulf Coast portion of the United States, where we could see that significant 5 to 8 inches of rain from New Orleans heading on over towards Pensacola. Also heavy precipitation across the northern plains. That liquid equivalent will be in the form of snowfall. And here across the north central Great Lakes and heading on up into portions of the Ohio Valley and Northeast. With that frontal boundary, we could be going down, up as far up as an inch of rain, which might not be very good news if Karen were to head that direction. We'll continue to watch the tropics, that system in the plains, and how this will all interact together here at MeteoMark. That's going to do it for MeteoMark. Don't forget to like me on Facebook, MeteoMark. Subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com. Here's a 5-day outlook for my hometown viewers in the Susquehanna region of New York and the Susquehanna region of Pennsylvania. Here is the outlook. Taking a look, you have Thursday here, looking at a nice day. It's Friday where we get that little bit of a frontal boundary dropping, a little disturbance dropping out of Canada. Could promote some thunderstorms, but then Saturday looks like your best day this weekend, so get out there and enjoy it before the weather really starts to go downhill for Sunday, Monday, where we could encounter those chances of showers and clouds as well as cooler temperatures. After that, the question is, what happens with the remnants of Karen? That's going to do it here at MeteoMark.